everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death.
Or hopefully calmer.
Happier.
Baby did not appreciate being restrained. Just like our Earth Elemental friend. Now she's dead and chilling. So we'll try to play on.
Yeah.
Okay. So Devon will shatter his small clay ziggurat model and intone the words to a tongue spell. Reaching out and hopefully speaking in the primordial tones of this Earth Elemental. I don't actually know what sort of, if elementals have much of a language in your world, but we're about to find out.
Well, according to the Monstrous Manual, they rarely speak, but their languages can be heard in the high-pitched shriek of a tornado or the low moan of a midnight storm. That's specifically air elementals, so I'm assuming earth elementals have a very similar thing.
Yeah. The groans of plate tectonics.
Oh, here we go. This type of elemental, earth elementals, though it has a mouth-like opening in its face, an earth elemental will rarely speak. Their voices can be heard in the silence of deep tunnels, the rumblings of earthquakes, and the grinding of stone on stone. So you speak these eldritch horror sounds of like stone scraping on stone, dwarven tunnel silences mixing in with the waves crashing behind you.
And I convey to the creature that it's going to be okay. You'll be safe, traveler. And I'm reading its mind and speaking its tongues.
It seems not to be surprised that you speak its language, whether this is because it was expecting it or because it is too dumb to comprehend linguistic communication between species is unknown at this moment. But the creature, in its own tongue, begs you to release it.
Should have come prepared with a way to control an elemental. But here we are.
Release me.
What is it that you want in these lands? What are you doing here?
I hunger for food.
I can feed you. What do you eat?
Silver, gold, metals.
I wonder if I can eat my bands of cerulean. What sort of thing could trap an elemental? I can move through stone and stuff, right?
Earth
and stone, they do great. Yeah. All right. I make promises I can't keep. Expensive pet. If you, yeah, I can feed you. Can I, like, gauge its reaction through ESP?
Yeah, its surface thoughts are fairly apparent. It's not really aware of the ESP going on or anything like that. So when you say it can feed you, its thoughts remain on it being presently held and bound.
Yeah. So I don't know how these creatures view like power and freedom. They probably don't appreciate it. Reason with it or push it around. Sorry, I don't know how to silence this thing, but
So what is a wizard to do?
Well, I think I will tell it, repeating again with harsher overtones, if you serve me, I will feed you. I have the power to release you. I don't see this going well.
Yeah.
As in, without like a magical means of control, I don't think there's much I can do with an elemental.
Yeah, it's pretty pissed. It doesn't like being bound.
So I think
it doesn't respect your control. It thinks it's
Really?
aware that you might be able to release it, but that doesn't mean it is like, I will, it's not a well-trained dog. It's more of like a wild stallion that is like, let me go, let me go,
Yeah.
let me go.
Yeah. Mark of recall. I can't objectify this elemental and put a mark of recall on it, can I?
No, not on living objects.
It's living? It's considered living?
Yeah, also, I don't know if its body contains the same form as it moves through Earth. It might shift slightly.
Yeah. So there's some like magical essence to it. I wonder what a dispel magic would do to an elemental.
Control of a conjured elemental can be stolen from the person who summoned it by casting Dispel Magic, specifically at the magical control over the creature. So
But
that would...
It's unbound, right? But
Yeah.
Right, it wasn't summoned by like a conjure elemental spell. It wandered in here through a portal that I opened. So short of like researching a new spell, I don't think there's a way to gain control over it. I can prod it again with a direct spell, which I think I'll do.
Okay.
I don't know if I can get lucky on its spells again.
I don't know. It's rolled a 5 and a 6, and then it rolled a 7 at -2 for a 5, and its spell save is 7. You
So
are
I'll drop
pushing
another.
your luck.
Yeah, I'll push it again and like direct it to serve, to obey.
You direct it to obey.
It'll only last for a round, but I'm hoping that this will be like a show of power, which it resists.
Resists it. And I think 2 rounds have passed through this conversation, and it will get another saving throw.
And it fails
again. Rolls a natural
All right,
1.
So
God.
I'm already using the Serona to read its mind. I think I will use the legend lore to just like combing through my own memories, my own arcanology to like think if there's any way to like control an elemental, to bind an elemental in this heat of the moment. Like I know there's like potions of elemental control and like Caesars of elemental summoning or whatever they're called. But Devon is racking his mind to see if there's anything that can save him in this moment. I don't know if save him. I mean, he's got this creature bound, but
it would take
how do I keep it?
It would take a spell like Conjure Elemental, a 5th level spell. Maybe Conjure Elemental Kin, if it's already on this plane, might be a suitable lesser version of the spell that you could hold it. Normally, you could only be able to conjure from their plane small elementals, but if a large elemental is on this plane, then the lesser Conjure Elemental spell might actually work to
Conjure
bind
typically like gates them into this plane or something, or like brings in their
Right. It
brings in their energy to this plane and then
and binds them to your will. So if you were to use a lesser conjure spell only for the binding, it might be enough magic to hold it. But that's a 4th level spell that I don't think you have.
I don't have it, no. I have that power, but I don't have that spell researched.
Yeah. Well then.
I don't think there's much I can do. Let me... So I think what I'm going to do... I'm talking to it, and I will continue with this rhetoric of, like, you're going to serve me one way or another. I think Devon gets frustrated that the directions don't work.
The creature grows angry. It grows frustrated. You can see it begin to like shake and vibrate in the bands.
I need some like pieces of an elemental, but I feel like there's plenty of that around, right? So for my potion making, like he's scattering pieces of earth elemental, right? This will be sufficient for my potion of elemental breath or whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's scattering bits of earth elemental, but it's like falling in the dirt and sand next to the sea and getting mixed around by the water as the waves come in and out.
Okay,
it might be best to...
I'll make a weapon attack against it. I don't want to waste a spell on like disintegrating off a piece of it.
Okay. So use your weapon to rip at it. I think you get a +4 because it's held. It's got AC 2, so 18.
I'm going to use my my staff, my elemental pike, I think it is, which actually might be risk. Like, what happens if an earth elemental like wouldn't consume a stone axe that hits it, right?
That doesn't seem like it would happen.
No, like might be in its power. Like if you could get control of your natural weapon, it might be able to do something with it. But just smacking it with a pike made from the elemental plane of earth shouldn't risk my weapon, right? Especially after it's been annealed in the plane of fire, etc.
Yeah, maybe if it was just an ordinary stone axe.
Why is that?
I thought I fixed this shit.
All right, it's fine.
And are you including another 4 for?
Not in that roll, but I'll do it now. 21 should be enough, right?
Yes, AC 18.
And actually, this will be with the pointy end. I don't have buffed strength at the moment, I don't believe. I don't have any strength at the moment. Why don't I have spear damage? Because this thing has a pointy end and it's got a staff end, and I do have, like, I could do like a multi-attack, but I don't think it's necessary, right? I feel like skewering it for 3 points of damage will shatter off enough elemental earth to suffice for my potion making. No need to like bludgeon this thing. I know, you tell me, like, how much of a chunk?
3 damage is enough to rip out like a chunk. It's a huge creature, right? So if you take out a chunk of earth about like bowling ball sized with 3 damage, it barely affects the creature and should be far more than you'll need for a single potion.
So I think I'm like cursing at it in tongues. I skewer it. I said, "You will serve me. When when I'm ready, I will summon you. Await my call, and I will send it back to its elemental plane of earth, unless it has anything compelling to say to me."
How do you send it back to its elemental plane of earth?
I will open a minor gateway to the elemental plane of earth.
Yes. Through which it will readily retreat and vanish from this world. And you find yourself at the base of the seashore, water lapping around your heels as the tide is slowly coming in over the next 6 hours.
Ow.
Did she just bite you?
No, she pinched me. She's got quite the grip. Look at these little, she's got big hands. It's like a puppy with big paws.
Get him, Ellie. Get him.
You can continue narrating. I'm gonna see if she'll hang out in a little chair and watch me.
So the Earth Elemental has retreated through the portal. I'm assuming you released the bands of Cerulean so that it can run.
Can I release the bands of Cerulean? Well, you said it would drop, so I think I will. Oh wait, no. If not, I might need to wait.
Yeah.
Free and time the portal with it releasing. Let me see what bands of Cerulean says.
No, it doesn't say you can release it. So I think you just have to wait for the 19 minutes.
Yeah, I think, or for it to break itself
free, yeah.
right? So I think I will step back, and like the round it breaks itself free, I will be ready to cast. So there may be like an initiative off. I don't think there's any way that it beats me.
Probably not, but let's roll it just to be sure. It would roll 1d10 plus
Minor
9.
Gateway casting time is 4. So the round, let's see.
It rolls an 18. There's no way. Yeah.
8. Yep.
You open the portal, the creature worms its way in and is gone. But sitting in the cave above you, or sitting on the cliffside above you, is a cave entrance of some kind. This definitely wasn't here the last time that you walked along this. Or maybe it was and you just didn't notice because it was on the bottom side of a cliff. But here is a seaside cave covered with silver ore about 45 feet above you.
So I have some fabricating to do. I think I'm going to climb the cliff back up. Do I need to roll another climb check to climb a cliff?
No, you've climbed the cliff. You've already made the check, so you can do it. Okay. It'll take some time.
I'll climb back up to the cave. The intention of like resting here for the night and recovering some of my MP, and probably actually like staying here for a while and fabricating the cliffside into a more useful, I don't know, location. Eventually, like fabricating some stairs and maybe starting the process of mining the silver. But for now, I need to rest and recover my MP.
Okay. You make it into the cave. It is fairly massive at the front. It's maybe 15 feet tall for the front cave entrance, and then it quickly narrows backwards, almost conically, into a much smaller passageway that winds into the earth. I don't know how far you want to follow this passageway if you're trying to rest here, but it does retreat beyond the vision of sunlight.
I will wander in a ways, mostly to assure myself that it's safe. I have a lot of I have full HP, but I'm low on mana, so
very low.
And it's also approaching evening, I think.
Yep. You wander on in. You can get near to the back of the cave where vision becomes difficult. You hear only the sounds of the ocean crashing out behind you, unless you'd like to make a perception check to see if there's something super quiet, like hanging out, lurking in the back.
I wouldn't have thought to, but since you're giving me the opportunity, of course I'll take it.
Yeah, you're gonna hear shit. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm just using my normal senses. It's dark, but I have divine sight into my mysterious heritage.
Yep.
And I will explore the cave. How far back does it seem like it goes? Like if I go back a couple hundred feet, does it go on and on?
You can get about 80 feet back. It maybe less than, maybe closer to like 40 feet back before it becomes difficult to maneuver through. And you can guess that it goes at least another 40 feet beyond this.
Like it narrows or something?
Yeah, it narrows. The front
is
is like
silver vein. So is this the elemental eating its way through a silver vein? Yeah.
Oh. Maybe not a silver vein so much as just the area is chock full of like silver ore deposits, almost like someone blew chunks of silver into the earth here, rather than just like one particular passageway. It's like here, like little pockets all over the place. Unlike the other areas you've seen, which are definitely like connected, concentrated veins of a specific resource. This is more pockets all about you.
Yeah. Okay. Unless it seems like there's anything back here, I will go return to the entrance and set up to rest for the night.
You may pass the day and the night.
I've traveled 2 hexes through the hills, so I think it's late afternoon.
That sounds like a raptor.
Yeah, dinosaur noises for sure.
Well, that evening, On the wind blowing past the cave entrance, you can hear distant songs being sung by feminine voices. You know there are sirens in this area, and if it's a siren song you're hearing, you're far enough away that you're out of the magical effect of it. But it does sound like there's a choir somewhere along the cliffs.
Can I guess how far it might be?
It's really hard to tell with, like, it's being picked up by the wind and then blown, so it comes in and out. It could be, 1,000 feet away, or it could be like 2 or 3 miles away. That just happens to be, like the prisoners on Alcatraz used to be you would say that they could hear conversations from the wharf in San Francisco, and that's about a mile distance. So it could be pretty far.
I'll roll myself a willpower check. Okay. All right. Devon remembers his youth, fantasizes about stripping down to his amulet of water breathing,
To his fig
and
leaf.
diving into the sea to rest amongst the sirens to regain his MP. But he's an older man and he thinks better of it, and stays here in his cave.
Nice. Okay. You rest the night away. No problems.
It might not even be worth. I mean, I don't know if you have like daily encounters to roll. I might want to just time skip a few days to fabricate the cliffside.
Do you have a means of feeding yourself and watering?
Not really. We've kind of been wishy-washy with equipment. I have rations noted on my character sheet, but I don't have a number listed. So it's like, yeah. I'm sure I brought rations with me, but I didn't bother to refill it before.
Okay, so we'll say you can stay here for just a few days before you need to go back and resupply.
Yeah,
I
can
doubt
gather
you brought
food nearby. I don't know if I have
there was that
means.
creek that emptied in here that you crawled down next to, so you've got a supply of fresh water if you climb up and down the cliffs. I'll probably make you make at least a climb check daily if you want to be climbing around a lot, because there's always a chance that you fumble.
Yeah. Just looking over my spells. Conjure simple object. Simple object of the same material. Sprinkle dust forms the desired object, 1 pound per level. I could conjure like a loaf of bread or something, couldn't I? This feels more priestly.
Isn't there a range on conjure object? Because it takes it from...
No, you take the dust of an... So if I like find like the breadcrumbs left in my backpack from that ration that I left but deleted to like 0 rations. Only one iteration. Oh wait, but the spell the item disappears when you lose concentration of it. Never mind. So, like, when I lose concentration of the bread, it would cease to exist.
Yeah.
All right, I think it's easier to just return. Let's see how much MP I can
Go
get.
magic missile yourself a seal. Eat some raw seal blubber.
Psh, not a magic missile. What campaign do you think this is?
Arcane spray.
Arcane spray. Yeah. Well, I'm now level 9. I've developed a 4th level arcane bomb version where I just like throw it into the sea and murder all the fishes. Fishing with dynamite.
They used to say there were many fish in the sea. Not anymore.
So I will. Nothing else comes of that siren song, is right?
No, you just hear it blowing in on the breeze. It's not enough to enchant you or charm you, but there are creatures about. The cave feels really safe. There's no way for creatures from the surface to get in, so only something either like flying in through the cave front or like crawling out through the back of the cave could possibly get to you. Of all the places that you visited here, this and Seltzer's Grotto appear to be like the safest places.
Yeah,
most
I don't
chill
really
places.
gain much MP. Only 1 die with the activity. 1 MP. All right, so we're not. This isn't happening.
Yeah.
So I actually won't even fabricate. And if food appears to be an issue, I think what I'm going to do is just come back another time.
Okay.
Another time being immediately. Actually, there's giants nearby.
There are. Who are theoretically friendly to you.
I need teleport. So I think Devon will meander his way back. That draw. Oops. I meant to divert through that giant hex. Oh, yeah? So if I spot giants and I can treat with them for food, I will do so.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll make my way back.
Yep, just give me one of them there climb checks to climb back out of your cave and back up the other cliff.
Really? Is there
I don't think that you should be able to forever scale this area without a chance of falling. I don't know how else to rule it to give you some threat of danger still. Maybe a climb check at bonuses because you've already done it before?
No,
climb check
maybe
at advantage?
I don't want to risk climbing at this point then.
I think that might be a good way of dealing with an area that you've climbed before, but it's, you know, you're still having to go up and down it, and it's still a little bit risky, as we just keep adding dice until it's, you know, silly to do it. I guess we could also just say you climb up and down, but I feel like there should be some possibility that you climb and fumble.
Only if you want to bring the campaign to a halt while I sit here and weigh other possibilities instead of invoking the climbing check. How far up was this cave?
The cave is 45 feet.
So there's another like 30 feet above me.
It's 110 and it's a 15-foot entrance, so it goes to 60, so it's another 55 feet above you, or 50 feet above you.
Sure, whatever. We'll let the dice decide what happens. On a D100, or was that? I should. RD100 less than 40. All right, so Devon falls and then walks along the taking 46 damage.
And
then walks along the
maximum
beach
height.
and then finds a safer way up, and then
yeah.
Did you want to make more of that, or?
I'm just gonna make some checks to see how long it takes you to find a easy to access place. I assume you're heading down the coast because you're looking to get in that giant square.
Yeah.
You will find a easier access point, like 10 miles down the coast. Whoops, that's not the right button. Right over here. There's a slightly easier access point. It seems that in the years since you first came here, some creature has been climbing up and down the cliff to get to the ocean. It looks like giants, actually. There are these like big foot marks carved in the side of the cliff every, 10 feet or so, that giants have carved to make their way up and down to the beach easier. If you only have to climb a 10-foot section at a time, it seems pretty easy, and you can scamper up.
I will, after falling, picking myself up, walking along the beach for a ways, find this giant-sized ravine or whatever, and walk up it to I'll probably follow the path to the giant's camp, house.
Sure enough.
Where do they live here?
The giants these are hill giants. They live in a cave. They're not that bright. They roll a big rock in front of it to keep out the other monsters that might be nearby, that might harass their young or something. And as you approach the cave, you can see the rock is rolled to the side. You can see a little bit of smoke rising from the inside of the cave, indicating a giant in there cooking. And
I will approach.
Yeah, looking in, you see a single giantess within the cave. It has a sheep, which it has stripped of all its wool, that it has put on a large branch, I guess, or a small branch, that it is roasting over a fire, whole.
What is it roasting?
A sheep. A singular sheep.
Right. Greetings, giantess. I am Devon. Perhaps you've heard of me.
I have. Greetings, Devon, she says.
I am passing through, mining some elemental silver in the area, and am in need of a resupply. Food and the like. Some hospitality. I'm wondering if there's anything I could trade you in exchange for sustenance. Hospitality.
You have been a friend to my kind. I would be happy to share some of my food with you, she says slowly, and motions to one of the hind legs of the sheep and then over to one of the front legs of the sheep and says, which do you prefer, head or hind?
I think the rump is tastier.
Give it some
don't actually
time.
know.
It's not quite ready yet.
Yeah. I will sit and share the fire with this giant. I don't particularly... I mean, I've got tons of valuables, but what do I have that a giant might like? Do giants value,
She's-
like, magical items?
Maybe. I mean, she's kind of out just here living her best giantess life, you know? She doesn't really need much unless you've got something that could be, like, improve her life.
Yeah. Maybe I have wounds myself. Maybe while I sit by the fire, I will share with her this troll blood potion that I have invented. I will show it working on myself, and then perhaps leave some with her. I don't know if I haven't noted how I've not noted how many I have. I have troll blood noted on my character sheet. Last week we had invented that potion, but we didn't specify how much was made. And perhaps you can remind me what the potion does, because I can't. There were some side effects potentially, or like we alluded to some side effects. I can't remember exactly how we mechanized it. So can you remind me what the what this ointment does?
Yeah, I'm opening up my notepad right now. Let's see. Magic potions.
I think it was like an ointment of
Trollish Salve.
trollish salve. There we
Heals
go.
1 HP per round over 9 rounds. Must be rubbed into the wounds to take effect. Has no effect on damage that does not produce wounds. Will stop minor or major bleeding, but not severe bleeding. Will stabilize the dying creature, but will not raise its HP above 1. At the DM's option, it may produce hairy or warty skin in the areas it was applied.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um,
Love it.
I think that's more if it's abused or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It might, be a little hairy at first, and you can shave it down, and it's fine. But if you keep applying it, then the hair just, keeps growing back.
Yeah. So I will rub this into, my bruises that I sustained from the fall. And, I guess use it to heal 9 HP. And I think I will, show this to the giant and offer to leave a bottle of the balm behind.
She mentions that her husband has been losing his hair and wonders if she can cut him on the head and rub this in to reproduce it.
She's very smart for thinking of that. Oh yeah? You want out? You want to play?
Magical Rogaine. But it makes her head warty as well as hairy. Great from a distance, but you don't want anyone rubbing their hand through your hair at that point.
I mean, they're a giant. They're giants. They're probably already warty and hairy. All right. So I will wait here for a little bit and excuse you. Eat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lamb quarters is probably enough to sustain me for a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Although not enough to, like... I think I'm still probably wandering back to civilization, aren't I?
I think so.
Yeah. So I'll refuel here, maybe even rest the night outside of the Giant's Cave, and continue on my journey back to Necrot.
Okay. I think that is what you can do 2 tiles a day, 3 a day if you force march.
Force march 3, and if I'm just trying, I'm probably just gonna force march because I'm not
1, 2,
like
3. Yep.
It probably doesn't make sense to try and regain MP on the go.
Yep. It's just 2 days to get back to Necrot. Let me do some random encounter checks. First day is nothing. Second day is something. You come across one of the remaining wild cockatrices on your second day. Fairly close, actually, to your home, like right between you and these other giants that live nearby.
First thought is maybe that it escaped. Is it like aggressive towards me, or is it...
Well, that will depend on when you spot it and who spots who first. So, why don't we both make surprise checks to see the range at which the spotting happens. Our cockatrice will roll 1d10 and is not surprised. Devon will roll 1d10 and is not surprised either. So, you guys will spot each other at a pretty good range. Maybe like 500 feet. We'll just roll our D300 plus 300. 500 feet.
Okay. I'll cautiously approach. But I continue on my way. I think I want to catch it. I don't want to just leave it in the yard. Yeah. So I want to approach within 120 feet and attempt to shadow snap it.
Ooh. I guess it'll just get a saving throw versus spell. Because you can shadow... What's the range on Shadow Snap?
120 feet. So I cautiously approach it. If it decides to run, it might be able to flee.
Right. Well, let's roll its reaction. 9 and 3 is 12 on the reaction die.
Mm-hmm.
Player is somewhere between indifferent and threatening. The creature is then
probably
somewhere
threatening.
Yeah. So you come towards it and gauging its reaction. It kind of looks towards you and starts walking towards you and flapping its wings and almost like that, but a little more aggressive.
She can get more aggressive. All right. So what is it? So it is aggressive.
It's threatening you. It's flapping its wings and squawking in your direction.
So we walk towards each other, I think, and it lets me get 120 feet from it.
Well, you walk towards it. It walks towards you. It lets you let it get within 120 feet of you. That sounds like. It has a move rate of 6, but a fly rate of 18. Okay. So it comes towards you, sort of flapping its wings and squawking and pecking in the area, and you walk towards it. And I guess we should roll initiative at maximum theoretical engagement range just to see who does what first.
I suppose, yeah. 9. Okay.
Oh, okay. It'll go at 10, and it'll once it gets to 180 yards, it'll leap into the air and fly in your direction.
All right. And that's when I will begin casting. I'll guess when it will fly within the 120 feet. Mm-hmm. And then I will
you will shadow snap it and
out of the sky.
Yeah, I guess
so
if
it's a saving throw.
It doesn't fly high, right? Chickens and cockatrices fly kind of low to the ground. They never really get huge air. So
yeah, I think if it were a flying creature, it probably wouldn't, but I'll sort of have to back up, and maybe it's waiting for it to descend close to me or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Or waiting for it to dip low enough to the ground.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
it's possible that it could like take off and fly away and evade the spell. But
if it was flying high enough, I think it wouldn't cast enough of a shadow on the ground to snap. But this one doesn't. If you've seen chickens fly, like they more like hop fly, you know. So you pin this creature to the ground, and one of its hops like drops. Oh, I didn't roll its saving throw. I forgot it gets a save.
Yeah.
4 is probably a failure.
Definitely a failure. And then I will circle around behind it and bludgeon it to death, hopefully outside of the reach of its pecking. I mean, it's technically like
it's
only how like it might be able to attack back if it had like a reach. I mean, I don't have a reach weapon. I got a stick.
Your stick is much greater than the cockatrice's reach.
Yeah. Only if we're like using reason. Like technically, mechanically, we have the same reach, but
there's no way a cockatrice can peck at you if you're hitting it with like a 3-foot
stick.
So
I'll circle around behind it, whack it with the staff a couple of times until it's unconscious.
Yeah, and it's too dumb of a creature to know how to counter Shadow Snap. So,
and I will return, or I'll hoist it over my shoulder like this, and carry it back to Necrot, just like old times.
You return to Necrot with a new cockatrice
2 days,
in hand.
right? So I'm gonna need to like bludgeon it again every morning or something.
I thought you were bludgeoning it to death.
No, what? I'm keeping it. I'm adding it to my cockatrice pit.
You bludgeon it to unconsciousness, get it back closer to Necrot, beat it over the head again when it starts to move, throw it in the cockatrice pit, and return to your home.
Which may become like, there may be like a floor in my tower that becomes the cockatrice pit or something. So intruders will have to go through the cockatrice pen to get to the upper floors or something like that. I haven't decided, because I would need a way to bypass it, but...
All right, Devon, you've made it back to Necrot finally.
Yeah.
New silver mine discovered, or not even a mine?
So I will arrange for laborers to come with Devon to set up this silver mine.
Excellent.
So Devon will rest until full MP, set out with laborers, and fabricate some staircases, a mine shaft.
Yeah, this sounds great. You already have one mine. What is the mine that you have right now?
There's a copper mine, I think, in the same hex as Necrot.
That is producing your coinage, right?
Yeah. Now we have silver as well. And I have some bit of gold ore from the elemental plane of Earth. Oh, yeah? Tell me more. This seems like a good spot to go to our next break.
That seems like a good break. Yep. We'll see you guys on the other side with some more Dicing with Death.